say, okay, I'm going to do an author. So I'm going to sell this book so many amount of times and things like that. But I know, like, what I've seen is that if I focus on the $1 million, sometimes I'll manifest. Okay, if I'm manifesting the $1 million, different opportunities will come in the way.
Hmm.
But if I just focus on, like, okay, we got to write this amount of pages. Like if I'm manifesting, okay, get this amount of pages done, and we're going to talk about this topic, like only on this book.
Hmm.
I don't know. It just feels like it's a little bit more like limiting, or like in the putting in a box. What you think?
So you're talking about having like a big goal and then
Mhm,
breaking it down into actionable steps.
mhm. And if
And
you
that's
should just be manifesting the actionable steps, or should you be manifesting a big goal?
both. Both.
Mhm.
You can literally just write down your goals every single day, like those tiny goals that are going to get you there, and maybe the big goal. Like I have my major defining purpose is right in front of me. I see it every single day. It's being programmed in the subconscious mind. It's literally right in front of me. 1,000 members in the Truth Seeker Society by July 30th, 2025. So that's my major defining purpose. That's my major goal, is to get 1,000 people in here by July 30th, 2025. Right. So I know that this is going to happen. I don't need to like completely focus on it, but I do need to focus on the actionable steps that I need to take
Mhm.
every single day that's going to get me towards that goal. So you break down this big goal with these small daily actionable steps, and that'll get you there. And you just focus on these goals. You focus on your daily goals, you write them down. I got to do this, 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 this. You start to check them off. I talk about this all the time. It's super, super powerful. You check them off as you go. And what you do when you do that is your brain starts to activate its success mechanisms, which aren't automatic. The failure mechanisms are automatic. Those are the mechanisms that it's like, get up, get on your phone right away, start scrolling, doing the things that are
Keep you comfortable.
deteriorating your, yeah, the
Mhm.
comfortable things, exactly, keeping you in the comfort zone, that are hindering your growth, right? It's about delaying your gratification and doing what you need to do every single day to get you towards that goal. So like that goal right there, I already know what's happened. I visualized it many, many times. It's already planted. You know what I mean? So I don't need to focus on it too much. I already know. Like this is what it is. What do I have to do every single day to get me there? That's the
Mhm.
key. So when you start manifesting, right? So this is my goal. I've decided now. I've decided. What happens is the universe or God is going to present you with opportunities, like you just said. Maybe different people start coming in, different opportunities start coming in, different unique ways of doing things start coming in. And it's up to you to take the inspired action on those opportunities. Inspired action is the last step of manifestation. You have to take action. It's not just going to happen if you're just sitting there visualizing. You have to take action on the opportunities that will present themselves, and they will present themselves, and they'll come in beautiful ways. So, having that clear goal and setting a specific date is very, very important, because your subconscious mind starts to go to work, especially when you write it down, you practice your penmanship, you speak it out, because your thoughts are a vibration, but your speech is also a higher vibration. So when it's like, I know for a fact that by July 30th, 2025, I will have 1,000 members in the Truth Seeker Society. Now I'm going to be presented with these tiny steps to get me there. And I just got to keep taking action and keep moving forward.
Yes,
Does that
sir.
make sense?
Okay. Yes, sir. For sure.
Sweet. Chelsea, did you get that little?
Yeah. So I remembered what I was going to say, and it also kind of aligns with Focus's first question that he asked. You have to literally be delusional
Mm-hmm.
about how you feel when you're manifesting. Like, you have to be that delusional and be in that feeling. I don't know where I heard that. I don't know if it was on here or another video or something. But ever since I heard that, and I literally like feel delusional, like when I'm um when I'm doing my affirmations, when I'm journaling, manifesting, whatever I'm doing, and I'm like, hell yeah, like yes, I got this. Um, you have to act like you have it right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it like be delusional about it, basically.
I have a funny story about that. I have an old friend, and I let go of this old friend when this happened. He asked me what's your goal? Like, what's your plan? I'm like, my plan is to be able to do whatever I want, whenever I want, and have the freedom to literally do what I just said. Like, go wherever I want, see whatever I want. Like, there is no limitations whatsoever. And he looked at me and he's like, is that realistic? And I was just like, fuck you mean is that realistic? You know what I mean? Like, of course, like, be so wildly delusional, because you have to understand that nothing is impossible. The only limits are what you set in your mind. And we have so many limiting beliefs that really hinder us from creating whatever we want. There's so many subconscious programs that we've been told since birth. And like, when he told me that, I was like, okay, you're just not aligned with, because that's exactly what it is. I believe there is unequivocal doubt. It's a knowing that that is exactly what's going to happen in my life. I guarantee it. All of you will see it. All of you will witness it. I am that confident and delusional in that specific thing, straight up. And yeah, I had to I literally just cut ties with him after he said that. Like, there's no way. You know what I mean? He's like, is that realistic? Like, what is realism? Like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, there is nothing in this world that you cannot accomplish. You need to truly understand that. The greatest minds of all time knew. They knew. It's an unequivocal knowing and belief in yourself. Anything is possible if you believe. It starts with belief. That is the key and the driving force to everything. If you have any sort of doubts in your mind about what you're doing, then you will not accomplish it. You need to get rid of those doubts. And the doubts are going to flow. They're going to come in because it's not you. You're not your thoughts. You're the observer of this reality. If you were your thoughts, you could not observe them. So it's up to you to recognize those patterns and let them go, and don't feed them. So when a thought of doubt comes in, it's just like, that's not me. I just let that go. Simple. But when these prosperous thoughts come in, these thoughts of, I will accomplish anything that I set my mind to, it is guaranteed. It is written in the stars. It's only a matter of time. You allow those thoughts to become you and vibrate out. So go ahead, Nate.
I just want to say I appreciate you guys before I start.
Appreciate you, dog.
It's been a couple of weeks in this fucking grind, eh? And you know that bit in the movie where the dude's fucking on his knees and he's fucking asking God for help, and he's training and he's doing the things? I had a day like that the other day, and I decided, fuck it, right? I'm going to start to try and open up things like being open to being, I hate like paying tax and I fight the government, right? So I was like, I'm going to open up my Instagram to monetization. I'm going to offer gifts and stuff like that. I've never done any of that stuff before. So I spent one night flicking all my stuff on. I finished a website for a guy last week, and then I built a coloring in book for kids and put it on Amazon the other day, right? I'm fucking trying every little thing I can in every facet of my skill set to push it out there to the universe. I'm in the park, and I haven't been writing down my affirmations. So I've been naughty, and I'm going to get on top of that to fucking day and get that consistent. But I've been writing my goal. So I'm in the park, and I'm like at that breaking point, right? There's no money. I've got to fucking pay for things on the weekend. I've got to take money out of crypto, which I hate doing. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. So I'm doing a live in my small group, and then it goes to no one. And then I go to the park. I'm doing pull-ups and fucking squats and stuff. And then I'm just there, and I'm like, I just look up at the sky. I'm like, fucking, I'm here. I'm ready. And I'm pumping myself on the fucking chest in between sets. And I'm just telling myself yes. Long story short, this morning I landed a client to do her social media marketing. She's in New Zealand. She's going to pay me for the rest of this month, and she's going to pay me May upfront. So I'm getting like $750 Australian, which is about $400 you guys. So yeah, I'm in the fucking pocket. I'm having lots of conversations with people. I'm helping a lot of people with coaching. And now it's starting to come through, but I just keep chucking things out there. But it's all about that elevated level of emotion with your goal. Like, you've got to really fucking grit your teeth and know like you're worthy of it, and it's already here. And I've just let go of all that stuff. And I just want to thank the group, because it's been pretty bleak the last couple of weeks. Like, it's fucking, I'm dealing with like collective consciousness as well, right? So I've got a partner, she's feeling in lack. Women fucking hate when they don't have security. And so all that stuff's coming up, and this is the third time we've been through this journey where I've decided to not do a normal job. And it's a ride, but it's coming to fruition. And I made a commitment to myself the other day that I'm not going back to traditional work and trading time for money. I'm going to do something different. So it's, the pieces are falling together, but it's a grind. Thank you guys. I appreciate you all.
Thank you, bro. Thanks for that. It's beautiful and certainly inspirational because I truly understand where you're at. And that jump that you took, the leap of faith, you took that with trust. And that's the biggest thing. Because you trust, it's going to work out, and you have to continue trusting. Like, you might get thrown so many curveballs from here until you get it. You know what I mean? However, if you just completely trust and continue to push forward, that word perseverance continues to pop up in my mind because it's so important along this journey to just persevere through the tough times and just to grind it out and do exactly what you need to do, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what things are happening in front of you, no matter the lack that's going on. Like, it will happen 100%. It will happen. You just have to know, you have to believe, and most of all, you have to trust. So from me to you, I want to tell you that you're in the right spot right now. You're doing the right things. You took the leap of faith. The opposite, going back to your job, it would have crushed your soul. And you know this for a fact, because it's just establishing that you don't have that trust. And it's super interesting because there's been many times along my journey where I've helped people quit their 9-to-5. And sometimes it's been, you just need to leave. You just need to leave and figure it out straight up. You don't even need to have a plan or anything, because here's the thing with me. When I wanted to leave the 9-to-5, I had this limiting belief where I have to have a certain amount of money in order to leave the 9-to-5. So it was always keeping me in this, like, I got to have this in order to leave. And it wasn't until I just made the decision to leave, to jump, to literally, I moved to Mexico and everything, like during COVID and all this stuff, didn't go back to the oil fields, and just decided to jump. No money, nothing coming in. I had some, like, couple 100,000 followers, but nothing was happening for me, blah, 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 blah. And when I just decided to jump and trust and follow my intuition, that was the biggest driving force of it. My intuition was like, do not go back. Like, I just had this feeling in my gut, and it was the scariest thing. It was the scariest thing, because I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, if I get down there and I can't get back, and there's all these things running dormant in your mind. But I just literally let go of it. I trust, and it all worked out. And it worked out in ways that I couldn't even comprehend or imagine or anything. And that's the whole art of, like, that detachment and letting go and not expecting a certain outcome. I'm like, I'm just going to do it because my intuition is telling me to do this. And I was getting a lot of signs and synchronicities. It was like, just jump. And that was the major jump that I made in my life. And yeah, that's 5-6 years ago now. And I have never stepped foot in a 9-to-5 since. So I've always been free. I've always done my own thing. I've traveled the world. I've inspired a lot of people. And that's because I decided. And I decided to jump and take a risk on myself. And when you do that, the universe will move for you 100%. As long as you're taking action, as long as you're aligned with exactly who you want to be and your values, and you'll be good. Trust me. 100% you'll be good. And there's some people that I literally just had to be like, yo, just leave your 9-to-5. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm like, just fucking leave, just quit. And when they did, now opportunities started coming, better relationships started coming. They started making more money in different ways. They just figured it out. And there's a few people that I still talk to that are not doing the 9-to-5 anymore because they just decided to leave without anything. Yeah. And there's a lot of power in that. And that's probably the scariest thing, the scariest place that you can be, is like that whole security thing. That's how the system keeps you trapped. It's just this, like, false, image of security. And when you let go of that and you truly understand that you're walking this, like, divine path that you're going to be taken care of, you will be 100%.
I walked in one day and got fired. So there is no security unless you own the company. Last week you spoke on the plant about to get through the fucking soil and fighting that last bit of inertia. And there's, like, inertia to the character that you used to play. And you got to fucking just push through it. It's like an animal breaking out of the shell, or like the butterfly, or that sort of thing. It's like everything's got to crack for you to get out of that bit you're in. And yeah, I definitely felt that in this last couple of weeks. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like a complete transition, right? And it's about trust. Like, when the caterpillar goes in the cocoon, it thinks it's going to die. which is crazy. And then it comes out in the most beautiful transformation there is. So it's just about like that complete trust and surrender and let go. So, I mean, it is one of the most difficult things. And there's a lot of people that, you know, I've coached that weren't able to get there. And that I'm like, listen, this is how it works. Like, this is how it works. But, you know, some people just got to move through it at their own pace. And some people just have to understand and not necessarily fail the test, because there's no such thing as failures, but just take them as lessons. And then, because this happened to me many times where, again, like I was saying, I'm like, you know, moving through the process, I'm like, I got to save this amount of money to leave. You know what I mean? Then I'll be comfortable. You know, it's like, it just doesn't work like that. It does not work like that. It's like, you have to be forced into this, like, you know, super uncomfortable position in order to grow, in order to find new things, in order to prosper, in order to like do whatever you want to do. Right. So it's just really about taking that leap of faith and trusting the process more than anything. Did you have something to add, Focus? I saw you raise your hand. I don't know. No, you good?
Yeah, I was trying to give claps to my man's Nate to keep going, baby.
Let's go. Okay, I got a little exercise for you guys. I want you to write in the chat, what sort of limiting belief around money are you ready to let go of, but don't know how? And then I'm just going to pick a random one, and I'm going to speak on it. Might take a minute, but ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Just drop it in the chat when you guys are ready. Ooh.
Yeah, mine was similar to yours, Sheldon. It's more about like, I need this amount of money before I can feel safe and comfortable to do X, right? So that's mine.
Yeah, so I just kind of explained.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm. So there's some good ones here. I'll just start talking. Like, maybe I can go through a few of these. No big deal. So my partner's mindset impacts my prosperity. This is a very interesting one because, again, the people that you surround yourself with are very important to your driving force of your manifestations. Now, what I would do if I was in your situation, you're obviously already doing this, is just continue walking your path and continue shining your light and just knowing unequivocally that things are going to work out. So when this like little bit of doubt and everything comes around and all that stuff, and inevitably it's gonna, you know what I mean? This could be the little test too that's in your life for you to move through, right? So you can quite literally view it like that. And I would start writing affirmations, bro, because I know a big goal for you is, you know, obviously providing. So, you know, you can tailor a specific affirmations like, I am so happy and grateful that I can give my partner anything that she desires, whatever, you know what I mean? and then start visualizing it. And so when you speak that out, start visualizing you giving her what she desires. Quite literally ask her what she desires. Start writing it all down. Be like, what is the life that you desire? You know what I mean? Get her to write it all down and have it in front of you. Have it right in front of you. And then just turn it all into affirmations. Turn every single one into affirmations. Create a little vision board of it. Have it right in front of you. And just know that that will happen. And just keep working towards it. And she's going to start seeing, I would, you know, say sooner than later, these things coming into her life. So hope that one helps. This is a good one too. People like me don't get rich. This is a program that we've been instilled with since birth. People like me don't get rich. I'm just the average person. And what really helps eliminate this limiting belief is the inner work. Because when you start really diving into your internal world, you start realizing that you are not the average person, that you are here for a much bigger purpose. You start to find more meaning in life. You start to find more purpose in life. And because of that, your limiting beliefs start to dissipate a little bit. You start to understand that you are an unlimited being, that you can do anything that you set your mind to. But it quite literally starts by looking within, again, forming specific affirmations around those things. If you guys, get the common theme here, like whatever your limiting beliefs are, it's important to identify them and then structure specific affirmations are like the driving force to rewire the subconscious mind. Practice your penmanship and start to speak it every single day. Morning and night is the most powerful. That's when they're closest to the subconscious. Full moons, most powerful, closest to the subconscious mind. So whatever that limiting belief is, or several limiting beliefs are, form specific affirmations to rewire that limiting belief. So people like me don't get rich. People like me get rich and often. People like me get rich very often. I can get rich anytime I want. I am abundant in all areas of my life. I am so happy and grateful for my unlimited abundance and freedom. These things will help you rewire those specific limiting beliefs. So this is a good one too. My work is only worth X amount of money, and charging for more is wrong. So I have a very maybe similar limiting belief to this as well. However, what I understand is the more that you level up as a person, that's why I preach in this community that working on yourself, mind, body, soul, every single day is super, super important. Because the more you level up yourself as a person, your spirituality, your mindset, your business, the more valuable you're going to become. The more valuable you're going to realize that you are. So if you're not putting in the work every single day to level up, whether it's in business, whether it's your mindset, meditations, affirmations, doing breath work, going to the gym, very, very important, staying physically fit, all that stuff. If you're not constantly leveling up, then you're going to stay at that same, limiting belief. Then you're not going to be worth more. Your business isn't going to be worth more. You have to always be leveling up. You have to always be learning, always be growing, always be challenging yourself and doing new things that can help you, become a better person, that can help you become biggest thing. And let's do focuses. $1 billion is too much to go after. Come on, man. So it's interesting because this first affirmation that I wrote for the 21-day, kind of reprogramming the subconscious mind for abundance is my mind is worth billions. My mind is worth billions. My thoughts are worth billions. The more that you speak these things, the more you're going to truly believe it. You might not believe it in the beginning. It's not how it works. You have to, do the work until your subconscious mind accepts it. It's about acceptance because you are commanding with these affirmations. My mind is worth billions. I've been speaking these things for a long time, and I truly, unequivocally, and undeniably believe that for a fact. That is my belief that I can attract an unlimited amount of abundance in my life. Guaranteed. That's what it is. There is no limits to it. There is no limits to it whatsoever. So again, the more it all kind of goes to the fact that the more that you look to your internal world, the more that you work on yourself, the more that you still your mind, the more you start to step into your power, the more powerful you realize that you truly are, the more you realize that you are a co-creator of this reality. There is no limits, right? The only limits are what we set in our mind. So the more we dive down this path, guys, the more that we do this work, the more you're going to realize your power. That is the key. That is the key to this whole game, is understanding how truly powerful we are. When we truly understand how powerful we are, we can literally do or have whatever we want. And these limiting beliefs, they just start to become obsolete. and I have to work hard to make money. Money doesn't grow on trees. You know, this is something that I was programmed with since birth. I heard it so many times. You need to work hard to make money. And, you know, I actually didn't realize that wasn't true until after I worked in the oil fields, because in the oil field, that's the hardest job that you can work. I was a rig hand, just complete labor. You're lifting a lot of weights. You know, you're sore 24/7. My hands, I remember one thing I'll never forget was it gave my hands very bad carpal tunnel, and I couldn't sleep because my hands would go so numb. And I would have to like put my hands over my bed, so they were like, you know, hanging down in order for the blood flow to go, and then I could finally sleep. I couldn't sleep for like the 2 years, the duration that I was out there. I quite literally suffered. And I'm like, this is what it takes. This is what it takes. This is what it takes. And then I realized, like, once I left and started making so much money in like crypto and all this, I'm like, like, where was this? You know what I mean? So it's just about having that like direct experience with it. And I genuinely think that comes from the whole, you know, letting go and the trusting part and just trying different things. But again, we need to, you know, really realize our power to understand that it's easy. You have to understand that money is just a frequency. It's a vibration. It's energy, just like we are. You know what I mean? So how do we attract more of it? We get on that frequency. We get on that vibration. I am a money magnet. You know, money loves to be around me. Money loves my energy. These are affirmations that you repeat every single day. I am worth 10 times the amount that I am charging. It's just engrave these things deep in the subconscious. And yeah, eventually these limiting beliefs that we have, they're going to go out the window and they're going to dissipate. So hope that helps, guys. Go ahead, brother.
One of the things that my buddy told me one time, and it's always stuck with me, this like last year, I think. And we were talking about how the money already exists. You know, what I mean, like money isn't real, but like the money that people say has value already exists. So you just got to find a way to convince the world why it's better in your pocket or in your possession, because you know what to do with it, right? Like we all know somebody that they paid more for something because they thought it was fancy, but really it was just an illusion of the value of that thing, right? But I would say probably most of us probably have a good idea of the value of different things. So it's like you just got to find a way to put it into your pocket, into your possession, because it's better in that place.
Yeah, you just got to
And
find.
what's that?
You
Sorry.
just got to find a way to extract it.
That's right. You got
And
to
that
find the
happens by
transfer.
becoming a valuable person and offering valuable products, offering valuable services, whatever it might be. It really just happens from becoming. Like I said, guys, like everything that you desire, it already exists as a certain version of yourself. So it's just about becoming. And I always say this, like you don't attract the things that you want in this life. You're never going to attract, I want money. I want more money. If you're constantly saying that, you're in a vibration of lack. You're affirming that you don't already have it. It's the opposite. That's why a lot of people get lost along this journey, because it's like, I want. That vibrational energy is lack. It's I have, I am, I'm becoming. So it's literally just about becoming that person. And then, yeah, you'll start extracting it. And it's going to start flow. It will flow in ways that you didn't expect. Like example, the Facebook. I didn't, that's the last thing that I expected. You know, the last thing. Like I didn't expect that at all, because I had all these policy violations. I was just posting on there. Didn't care. You know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm helping people. People are seeing my videos. That's dope. Let it go. And then boom. It's crazy. So it's just the more you become, the more it flows. That's the biggest thing.
So adjusting your frequency, right? You know, how you're getting the violations, and then you just kind of made that small adjustment, and then all of a sudden, boom,
Yep.
it flows towards you.
Letting go.
And I can really relate to what you were saying about in the oil fields and having, you know, getting carpal tunnel. I was working, I friggin' hate doing dishes. I mean, we all do, so I'm not unique in that sense. But I needed to take a job at the time, and I was like going around everywhere. I missed the ferry, so I was like, okay, well, there's one more restaurant here that I'm gonna apply to. I ended up getting a job there in the kitchen, and one of my duties was dish duty. So when I was doing that, they were telling me, this guy's like, "Oh yeah, this soap here, shouldn't bother your hands that bad." And I'm like, "Oh, it's kind of irritating my hands, right?" And they didn't have like really proper training, and I mean, really, I should have known, but I ended up still using my hands and exposing it to the soap that they use in the dishwashers there. And that's what I mean. Like, you learn about all these different chemicals that are in our world, in our food, in our clothing, or, in different products that we touch. And the soap being one of them, right? What happens to your hands? You get shriveled hands. And so I ended up getting, it was like giving me small chemical burns, like not bad enough that my skin would fall off, but it was like I was getting redness in my hands and I was starting to lose sensation over the course of a couple weeks. So I ended up having to quit that job. And I remember one of the guys I worked with, and his were like super inflamed. And like, I think he was starting to like, I don't know, it was messed up. All I know is that people will like, they'll literally let you, ruin your body just to give you a small paycheck.
Absolutely. That's the corporate world. That's why most people are here. It's like to escape that, right? Because, at the end of the day, I think the majority of us understand that we're meant for bigger than what's out there. And it's a big reason that I started this community, because I've achieved that level of freedom within myself, and it's within myself. It had to happen within first. And because it happened within first, my external reality reflected that internal freedom that I cultivated. And I want everyone to, feel that, because I know what it's like to like wake up at 5 a.m. and go, like commute an hour to work and work in -40 and like hate what I was doing, but like know that it was a part of my journey and my sacrifice and all that stuff. And, I remember being at call centers and just like, this was 10 years ago and I still knew I was a slave. I'm like, I'm going to make it out of here. And it's interesting. I actually, last thing I'll say here before we wrap up, it's like I saw a guy at the gym recently who I used to work with at the call center 10 years ago. And if you have the courage to speak it, it will happen. It will happen. When I was at the call center, I was like, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I was trying different things back then, Amazon FBA and like fucking affiliate marketing and all this stuff. And I'm like, I'm going to make it out of this shit. Like, I'm not working a 9. That is not for me. Not for me. It could be for other people. It's fine. If you're happy, that's completely fine. Not for me. I need my freedom. I want to wake up when I want. I want to go to bed when I want. And I was saying these things and they're all laughing at me, calling me crazy. Well, 7 years later, I see this guy, and I was good friends with him back in the day too. And he's like, yo, you, good for you, bro. Like, you said, you did everything you said you were going to do. And it was the same when I went out on the rigs. Like, these people were, they're lifers. So when some guy comes out there and he's like, I'm coming here to save money to start my first business or start a business or whatever, and get out of this 9 to 5 system, they're laughing at me. I was picked on. I was made fun of. I was like getting all the bitch work because they knew I wasn't in it for the long haul, right? But now these guys talk to me and they're like, you're one of the only people that came out here, said what they wanted to do and actually did it. And they're like, that's like, that is like the highest form of self-confidence. And just know, it's like, I will make it out of here no matter what. And when you have that genuine belief in yourself and you have the courage to speak it, no matter how much your voice shakes, then it's going to happen. Guaranteed. Go ahead, Nate.
Can I ask just one question before we go?
Sure.
Is it okay to have a negative contextual affirmation like a 9 to 5? You just said it. A 9 to 5 is not for me. Because you know how your brain doesn't process not and stuff. I want to be like really fucking crystal clear about what I'm trying to create here.
Say that again, sorry. Let me understand that a
You
little
said
bit.
a 9 to 5 is not for me. And I wrote it down and I was like, is that a good affirmation to write? And then I was like, your subconscious doesn't process negative. So is it okay to have something that's framed in that context to create?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I think that you can frame it in the sense where it's like, I'm so happy and grateful that I've left the 9 to 5. That would be the best way to frame that. It was just like, that was just my dormant thought, was like, this is not for me. Like I cannot be here. But I also did, understand that I needed to sacrifice. That's why I went out to the oil fields. Like, you have to sacrifice for a period of your life. You have to take the hard road in order for life to become easy. If you always take the easy road first, life is going to become hard. I was a personal trainer in London, Ontario, and comfortable job. I was making good money. I had good clients, all that stuff. I was working like 6 hours a day, I'd go work 3 hours. I'd go home for a few hours, go for a bike ride, gym, whatever, go back. Easy life, living in a nice space, whatever. But I had these big visions and goals, and like I desire to be rich. I desire to like be abundant in all areas of my life, and it's not going to happen here. I'm not going to save enough money to start a business on Amazon or anything like that. I was like, I need to make a change. You can't just go to a bank and get a business loan. They'll give you a student loan, but they won't give you a business loan, and that's for obvious reasons, right? Because student debt is slavery and business is freedom. So I decided, like, I literally came to a stop sign. I was driving, stop sign, boom. And it was just right there. I'm at the stop sign. I'm like, I need to leave. And within like 2 weeks, I packed my car and I ripped out west 25 hours and slaved in the oil fields for 2 years and saved up enough money to, start Amazon FBA. It was successful, and then it failed, and like all these things happened. But, trust the process, and I did the sacrifice, and it worked out. So I also want to say one thing before we wrap up. I want to highlight Miss Chelsea up there for being at the top of the leaderboard. She actually unlocked a free one-on-one call with me, which we went through, which was amazing. So guys, be super active in the community, because as this community grows, we are going to be, doing retreats, giveaways, all that stuff. And the people that are at the top of the leaderboard, you're going to be coming. So I just want to say that, just a little, it doesn't take a lot. Just come in, post in the discussions board, help people out that have questions. If you can relate to these questions, whatever it might be, just try to be super active, because trust me, it's going to pay off in the long run. Guarantee it. And with that being said, I wish you guys a beautiful night. Happy Monday manifestations. I'm sending you guys a lot of love, a lot of high vibrations, a lot of good energy as always. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Bye,
Have a good
guys.
week.